Looking at stuff for our grow room. Do you like those cherry tomatoes in the thumbnail? Well, those are going to be going in our growing room here pretty soon. We went to Lowe's. We were looking at hanging baskets and like planters that are skinny and long to fit on the shelf, and we decided we needed to measure first before we bought anything, but we did get some dirt because we know we're going to need dirt. And my husband's going to be able to hang, we think, maybe 10 plants from up here, possibly 10 planters, but we're looking for the right ones. Lowe's only had really black looking hanging planters, and that seemed like a bad idea for the desert if we want to extend our season into the beginning of summer in this room. We don't want to draw the heat in, right? Although it's really well insulated, so we're going to have a little more time than you might expect out here. And my husband's even talking about putting in a swamp cooler for me, which will be really nice. He said, I just want to make sure that you're not going to like live out there and I'll never see you again, because he knows how much I like gardening. Oh, there's my reflection. Hi. And another really cool device I had this on my hydroponics because I was trying to figure out how much humidity I could get in the house. There we go. Let me turn the light on. I love these LED lights, and it's so cool that I'm never going to have to change them out, right? But so right now I can see we have 22% humidity in here. We've had it open to let the wood off gas. The low's been 42 and the high's been 84. Well, the low is not going to get anywhere near as low once we shut this off. In fact, the high's probably not going to get as high either. It's going to be a great experiment. But I highly recommend a thermometer like this for outside growing so you can keep track of the temperatures that your plants are being exposed to. And check out this cute little sign my friend got me. She got this for me last year, and I hadn't really figured out a good place to put it. It's got some sawdust on it. But how appropriate is this going to be for a growing room, right? Thank you, Miss Julie, if you're watching. Julie's I'm going to be able to store some stuff up there, but I might even have room to hang something from it too, possibly. A lot of possibilities for this space. The hydroponics are definitely coming out here, but they're not as tall, or maybe they're a maximum as high as I am. So I'm still going to have some space up here for hangers, which is really wonderful. Let's turn this light off. We still have some kumquats on this tree to harvest. When I'm done, I'm going to pick some and eat them. Haven't had a smoothie yet this morning. We were busy. And we still have some eggplant over here. I've been watering it. This stuff is actually pretty cold hardy. And one of them is still trying to make an eggplant. Let me see if it's still got that on there. Let's see if I can find it. There we go. Right there. Yeah, that's an eggplant setting on. And I have a bunch of eggplant seeds that I'm germinating because I want to grow eggplant inside my little grow room too, right? Why not? And these peppers look like they might actually have an opportunity to make. They look pretty rough. The bugs got to them, and they might even have some sawdust on them, possibly from all the carpentry work. But if you look really closely, you can see that there's some pepper setting on. And I'm so excited about that because this thing bloomed and bloomed. And I had all this mint out here, and I think the mint inhibited the growth of the peppers, or the fruiting anyway, because it was blooming for like months, right? And over here is our cruciferous. And we put this out some time ago, and you can see this is really growing. And I have these nets to keep both the rats and the birds from eating everything, because they literally would. I think the big one is cauliflower. And if you've never grown cauliflower before, cauliflower, the leaves taste so good. You can put those in soup. They're wonderful. And I'm reminded I still have some herbs that I have to harvest. This mullein, this is going to be the 4th time that I've harvested this. And I'm excited about this plant. This is one of these medicinal herbs that actually has done really well. And if it overwinters and comes back, next year we'll get really pretty flowers on it. So a medicinal herb that flowers is going to be an awesome addition to the garden. Oh, and look, I hadn't totally prune the squash back because it was making a squash. These are the acorn squash, and something has been trying to eat it. So that one's pretty much done. I guess I can pull that out now. We had some volunteer tomatoes that showed up. You can see these are blooming. They don't have much longer because we're supposed to get some 33-degree temperatures. Now, I could probably throw a sheet over this area, possibly. And this basil I let go to seed, but I can still harvest the basil, right? I like to let stuff go to seed and collect the seed. And the lemon balm, I kind of missed out on harvesting that. But the cool thing about this is it actually reseeded and grew some more lemon balm in there. So I'm going to have more plants. I think eventually this container is going to be full of lemon balm. And lemon balm smells really, really wonderful if you're not familiar with that smell. Oh, got a few cherry tomatoes in here with this eggplant. They actually did good together. I didn't know. They came up together and I couldn't really separate them. And I didn't know, but the eggplant and the cherry tomatoes actually grew really well together. So they must have similar needs. And I'm happy to see the leaves are coming off the trees because I'm going to put those solar lights out here. I put them on the paddle cactus in the front yard and it looks really nice. And solar lights are just really cool, right? Because you don't need electricity. It comes from the sun. Oh, the hummingbird's over there. Oh no, that's not the hummingbird. That's a different bird. That's interesting. I guess it likes sugar water. Let's see if I can zoom in. Can you see it? Oh, yeah, there it is. Anybody know what kind of bird that is? Oh, it flew off. Oh, no, it's still there. There we go. He's awfully cute. I like those little birds. Actually, I pretty much just like most birds. Apparently, it's trying to get to the sugar water. Poor thing, must be hungry. Or thirsty. That's possible. So yesterday I harvested the pistachios and they're drying. They need to sit for one more day in the sun, so I have them in our grow room, and then I'm going to bake them for 8 to 10 minutes at 350. So that's pretty exciting. We almost got as many pistachios as like a bag of pistachios at the store. And it takes a long time to grow pistachios. If we would have known how long it takes, we probably would not have planted this tree, but just the fact that we're starting to get some almost makes it worthwhile. Plus, it's just so cool to be able to grow anything for yourself, especially here in the desert. Now over here, this is a fig that my friend rooted for me 2 years ago. Last year, the neighbor's gardener jumped on it and broke it, but the cool thing about that is it actually came back with 2 stems from the base. So that wasn't such a bad thing after all, but it's a different variety of figs, and it's going to lose its leaves. But I just love figs. They're so hardy here. And it kind of creates a little privacy for us too, right? Because those things can actually get 15 feet tall. And that particular species of fig can get about 15 feet wide, which we don't let it do that. This bird of paradise almost totally died. I need to find a saw or maybe get my hubby to do it for me to cut this dead part out. But you can see that it came back from the root, so it's pretty hardy. A lot of things didn't do too well in the heat this summer. We had a week of about 120. But amazingly, this wanted to live because it came back. So we're still going to have a bird of paradise. Over here we have some roses. I tried leaving the blooms on the roses. Well, I mean, I harvested the blooms, but I tried leaving the fruit on it. But unfortunately here, it gets so hot that the fruit just turns into a dried paper kind of thing instead of making a fruit. And because I left it on there, it didn't bloom a second time. So next year I'll be sure to cut off the blooming parts when I harvest the flowers. I kind of feel like the flowers would be as good for you as, say, hibiscus, right? They're super red. They make quite a flavorful tea, actually. You wouldn't know unless you try. And this down here, a couple years ago, our ruby red dwarf grapefruit dropped some fruit, and this actually grew up from it. So I don't know if we're going to get the pure same tree or not, but this is some variation of grapefruit. And it's actually handled this hot spot. This wall is like hot. It's like one of the hottest areas of our garden. It handled it really well, so that's kind of exciting. So this is going to be 2 years old now. sun oven off to the side, out of the way from all the work that was being done. And this paddle cactus back here, this was our original paddle cactus. And the great thing about these is you can just take a cutting off of them and stick it in the ground and it roots. Now, ever since we took all those cuttings off of this, it hasn't bloomed. And it might just because we've pruned it back so substantially. But this is the Opportunia species of paddle cactus that fruits. And recently I made barbecue sauce with the fruit on the cactus and a wing sauce. I think the barbecue sauce is better, but it actually turned out really good. So you can check out that live. I think I'm going to get enough fruit off the ones in the front yard, the ones that still aren't ripe, that we can probably do a video and make like a full video making the barbecue sauce from start to finish, you know, the kind that I edit. But right now I don't have time to edit a video. But you can see our lemons are getting ripe. And now I can actually see that we got more lemons than I thought. And I can't tell you how happy this makes me, because this Meyer lemon makes the most flavorful lemons. Most of my friends with lemon trees, they have the Eureka variety. And I kind of feel like the Eureka is more situated for our client. But these Meyer lemons, if you can get your Meyer lemon to produce it, has the most flavorful lemons. And I cut this almond tree back. This almond can get pretty tall, but it actually didn't put any nuts on at the top. So I kind of feel like it's too much for the tree with the resources available to try to fruit at the top. So I went ahead and pruned it back. Plus then my pomegranate back there in the corner will get a little more light. And you can see the leaves are coming off of this too. So it's perfect timing. I'm going to be able to get those solar lights out here. And I have a pomegranate I missed up there. It's a little baby one. Bougainvillea, lots of aloe. So our Stella cherry made it through our 120-degree weather. So excited because I kind of feel like the Stella cherries will be more flavorful than the purple plums, right? Little natural sugar, I'll have a little more versatility. And look at this tomato over here. It's two species of tomatoes. Unfortunately, it overtook my tomatillos and those died off. So I'm not going to get any tomatillos, but I am actually getting some nice tomatoes down here, which is very cool. Normally my tomatoes, if I put them outside, they die as soon as it gets hot, but this is a cooler corner in our yard. So we kind of have microclimates in our yard. Oh, and something's been chewing on my horseradish. Frustrating, that is. But we kind of have microclimates in our yard. And this is definitely going to be the site I'm going to be planting more tomatoes on. And I will be saving seeds from these tomatoes. Anything that does well in your yard, in your climate, if you save the seeds from it, it will do even better than if you'd bought brand new seeds, because the seeds will be acclimated to the growing conditions in your yard. So definitely save seeds from things that do well. And I still have some basil down here coming out that I need to harvest. And oh my gosh, this tomato is actually pretty good size. Wow. That's like fist size inside my hand, right? I could hold that in the palm of my hand. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. I'm definitely going to save seeds from that tomato. That is so cool. You know, this was definitely a success this year. So that, wow, you don't get a whole lot of successes here with gardening. But yeah, something's been eating on my horseradish. In fact, there were 5 in here, and it looks like we're down to 1. So I'm going to give the rats a little credit for that, right? And this blackberry made it. That's going to end up being in the very corner over there, because it'll need some support. I'm going to have to like probably put some trellising stuff around it, and then the tomatoes will move to the right in this area here. And our one lonely quinoa experiment did really well. It's not quite ready to be harvested yet, but soon it'll be harvested. We're definitely going to grow some more quinoa. Looks like that is something that will work in our climate. And the fennel. If you were watching earlier this summer, I moved the fennel from the hot side of the garden because this is a cooler weather plant. And you actually can start fennel from the roots of harvested fennel. So that's what I did. I harvested the fennel. I dug up the roots, replanted it here in this cooler area, and it's growing fresh fennel for me. So I'm not sure how long that's going to take to make, but definitely be looking forward to making some fennel soup. You have to caramelize it so that it's not such a strong licorice flavor. But that is pretty much my update in the garden. You can see it's time to clean out the soil, add some more compost. Our compost is still making. Time for a change in the season. I appreciate y'all joining me today. Looks like we've had one person popping in and out. I hope you have a blessed day today. Thanks for watching.